everyone, and welcome to the Ladies Tale podcast. I have said that 1,001 times, although the podcast does not have 1,001 episodes. That means I've said it wrong so many times on my other podcasts, because we have 3 other podcasts. So, you start and you're like, welcome to the ladies. Oh, shoot, that's not right. But it's right this time. It's right. I got it right. Oh, by the way, well, no. I'm sorry. I almost forgot to introduce myself. And I'm going to tell people something that they don't need to know. Number one is that I currently have a toothache because dentist, it still hurts. And if you've been following us for this entire week, I've been like, it still hurts. Well, today it still hurts. So if I sound a little weird, I apologize. Y'all didn't need to know that, but just in case you thought I would sound like I was drunk, no, I'm not. It's way too late to be drinking. It's like 9 o'clock at night here. Right and early for our guests. Wait, I'm supposed to be saying something else. Hold on, let me think about it. Oh, I remember we wrote books, which is otherwise known as literary life guides with pop poetry. And I thought divorce was bad. Yes, y'all, I'm doing a throwback to like 6 years ago. And I thought being grown-ups was easy. Throwback to 4 years ago. And then we have If Only I Were Me, a memoir in verse, Widow's Web, Widow's Debts, and Foreign Coffee. And all those books are on audiobooks. If you were counting with me, that's 6. Oh, sorry, let's do it this way. That's 6 books. We have 11 more. And in case you just love to read, you can find out everything your ladies are doing at www.andithoughtLadies.com. And since I said it like I am going ahead and selling cars, one more time, y'all, because emphasis is important when you're trying to sell stuff. www.andithoughtLadies.com. Okay, now I'm done. That felt good, though. That felt real good. I feel like I'm going to sell a book. I'm not going to. But anyway, you're not here to hear about me. You're here to hear about our wonderful guest. Wonderful guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
So my name's Lachlan. I live on the Gold Coast in Australia. I've been writing since as long as I can remember, since I was like 6 years old. And in the last sort of 6 years or so, I've sort of gotten serious about writing. I started off writing film scripts, and sort of film scripts turned into books. And my first book I'm aiming to release this year. And also my film scripts I'm aiming to sort of get rolling and get out there this year, send them off to competitions and stuff, as I've been doing previously, but I'm sort of getting more serious about it now. But also decided to just get into the film industry any way I can. So I decided to do acting and modeling recently in the last few months. And yeah, I just picked up my first extra job this week. So yeah, it's just been getting into it, figuring out like what the movie industry is about, like seeing different people. I was on my first film set yesterday for that Young Rock TV series. And it was just, yeah, it was just really cool to see everything on set and all the cameras and stuff. And so, yeah, that's sort of my inspiration for life. That's where I want to go. I want to get into the film industry. I want to write. I love books. I love writing. My day job is surveying, or land surveying, whatever you want to call it. And that's sort of, it's similar to engineering. You got to do your maths at uni and stuff and blah, 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 and then get qualified. And I'm on my 5th year of uni this year. Just finishing it off, working as a surveyor on the side, which is like totally different to the arts, but I still love it. I still love maths and everything. But yeah, that's pretty much me.
Okay. So I have to ask, you said modeling, writing, and mathematics. What and how is that gonna mesh?
Well, it's sort of just been thrown together in the last few months. I was doing surveying sort of as my plan B in case writing and film industry stuff didn't work. So, if I go to Los Angeles and I can't get into acting, I always have a career in surveying to fall back onto. So that's always been the plan. I needed a plan B in case things didn't work out. Modeling sort of just, I didn't know. I was like, one day I was on like a construction site and I was just like, had heaps of guys around me. I was just like, oh, this is pretty boring. I need some girls around me. So yeah, I just decided to do modeling, see what that's like. And yeah, so I've just decided to do that recently. And yeah, just see how it goes, see what jobs I get. But yeah, it seems to be going all right at the moment. I've just gotten into it. I applied to do like a runaway this week. So yeah.
Okay, so for every other author out there that's like, hey, I need to do a picture for like my book cover,
Mm.
you just like kind of just blow everyone out of the pit, out of the water then. When your book is finally done, it's just gonna be like, yes. Anyway, I'm sorry. There was no question there, just me being rambly and making a joke. So let's get back to an actual question. Why film writing? Like, because you're saying you're writing your first book, but you started
Mm.
off film. Well, why film?
Well, it's a funny thing. Before I wrote screenplays, I was writing like short stories, and I was trying to write a book. And I couldn't write a book because I never could really figure out what to do in like chapter 4 or 5. I could always write like chapter 1 to 3. That was simple. But as I got on through the story, I was just confused as to what to do with the rest of it. So I dropped writing altogether, forgot about trying to write a book and everything. Then I discovered screenwriting, and it just forces you to think about your ideas in terms of a movie. Like you have your beginning, your end, middle, and it's really easy to plot and really easy to get out of your head. Like all you need to really do is write scenes and dialogue. And that's sort of really flipped my mind on writing. And I just when I got into writing screenplays, I found that I could just get my ideas out like so quickly. Like in the last month or so, I've written like 3 TV pilots, 2 screenplays, and that's just from just letting it all out and just writing it down. Whereas if I was to write a book, to get all that out, it'd probably take me like 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean? So that's what really inspired me. Just getting my ideas out on paper in screenplay format. And then I picked out sort of the ideas that I wanted to make into books. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
I love that idea. I like it a lot. Just doing screenplay 2 books instead.
Mm.
Um, I wouldn't know if it took 4 or 5 years. At my fastest, I was writing a novel every 2 weeks.
Mm. Mm.
So,
Mm.
it's only taken me 4 or 5 years once. So,
Mm.
I don't know. I think you could probably do it if you're good at writing screenplays. You could probably
Yeah,
knock things
yeah,
back.
that's true. That is true.
Yeah. And I have to admit, I think it's amazing that you can write screenplays because I find them devilishly hard. Like, oh God, they're so hard. And like, except for like 1 or 2. So
yeah, definitely.
okay, so you just said, and first of all, you do everything apparently because you're in your 5th year of uni, and then there's acting, and then there's modeling, and then there's writing, and then there's mathematics. So
Mm.
can you tell us a bit about how mathematics, or possibly the structure of mathematics, might have improved either your screenwriting or your actual writing?
Well, I wouldn't say it improved my writing, but it actually improves the functioning of my brain. It uses the other side of my brain. So you got the logical and then you got the creative, right? I find that my creative works better once I use some of the logical side of my brain. You know, I do some maths, and then I find that, you know, creative stuff flows a lot easier. It becomes a lot sort of, my mind's a lot more pleased. Whereas if I just fill my head with creative stuff, I feel sort of drained on this logical side, and I just feel a bit, you know, less sort of balanced in my mind. But if I'm doing both at the same time, my mind feels balanced, and I feel that I can, you know, balance writing and everything else I'm doing just a lot easier.
Now, I've read a few times that writing is pretty much like a little bit of both, because if
Mm.
you write a novel, you have to plot an entire novel, and I'm a pantser. So
Yeah,
meaning when I sit down to write, I just write.
yeah,
So I have to plot an entire novel in my head and
yeah,
keep it,
definitely.
and then and then know all the stuff that you need to know. So I think it's kind of cool to see in your case how drastically like mathematics and creativity have meshed together. Now, the question after my ramble is what genre do you write in?
So I'll write in any genre, to be honest. And I've just figured out recently that if you sort of pigeon yourself in one genre, like people expect you to keep on writing that genre. So what I'm probably going to do in the future is I've started off in crime novels, right? My first book is a crime book, but I also want to write like a young adult series. So I'll probably like make up a pen name for myself and then use that pen name for a young adult series. But yeah, I don't want to stay to one genre of book. Like I said before, like my film is sort of my main inspiration in my mind. Like if I were to be an actor in the industry, I wouldn't want to just be in horror movies, for example, or in science fiction movies. You know, if you look at like the big actors like Johnny Depp or whatever, they're in all types of genres. And that's sort of how I see my writing. I want to be in all genres. I want to do Western, horror, sci-fi, anything. So yeah.
Mm. Oh, after we finish recording, I have something to say about the Johnny Depp thing. That was kind of, but what was my next question? Oh God, I think the pain has actually got to me this time.
Oh, true. No.
I swear I had another question and it just left my brain. It wasn't genre. Oh no, that wasn't the question at all, but I'm gonna go with this one because that's the first one that popped in my head. So so how has being on set changed the way that you write screenwriting, that you're doing your scenes in your upcoming play or in your upcoming film? You know what I'm asking, right?
Yeah, I know what you're asking.
Thank you.
So what I experienced yesterday was really good, just to get an idea of like the effort that will go into what you create. You know, with the cameras, they probably cost like 400 grand. The crane probably cost like 200 grand. Then there was about 100 extras on set, and then there was this massive green wall room and everything else that went through it with it, like catering, warehouse, all that. So it definitely gave me an idea of just like budget and just the effort that goes into making a movie. And I think as a writer, you should definitely appreciate if your book or script gets picked up by something, then you're contributing to something, you know, very, very big. If it's a big screenplay or a big movie, a big book, it's going to involve a lot of people and a lot of time and a lot of effort, a lot of money. And that's, yeah, it just gives me appreciation, I think, the most. It hasn't really changed how I write, but it's just given me, more perspective.
I have to say, like, okay, first of all, I think it's wonderful that you said that because oftentimes I would be writing my screenplay and it's not specifically a producer brain, but I have friends who are producers and they'll be like, well, you have this lovely idea. Do you know how much that's going to cost? And so I started writing and then I just started downsizing. Like, if I keep them in this scene, if I keep them in this setting and do 3 different scenes in the setting, it'll cost less, you know? So I think that's great that like, it's not just me that does these crazy things.
Yeah, true.
My last question is going to be, when can we expect your first book and where can we learn more about you and follow you on your writing journey? I'm sorry, on your creative journey, because it's not just writing.
So I've set my release date for January 2023 for my first book. The reason why I've done that is because this is my first book. I want to get it right. I set a release date for October last year. I wrote the book, had it ready, and then I printed it out. I probably shouldn't show you it, but I have it printed out. And then I'm starting to read through it, and I just went, no, I want to spend a bit more time on this. I want a bit more maturity as a writer before I release it. So I just forgot about that release date. My marketing probably wasn't the best at that time either. So I set the release date for like another year, January 2023. That's it. I'm going to release it. So this year, I'm just finished doing the final touches. I'm just making sure that it's at its best. At the moment, I've just sort of put that book to the side. I've been writing screenplays, TV parts and stuff, just letting my writing grow, get more mature. And when I feel like it's, after I've done my screenplays and whatever, I'll come back to my book, finish it off, make sure it's definitely 100%. And then, yeah, it'll be out. Hopefully, fingers crossed, January 2023. I set that mark because I knew I probably can do it. I'm pretty sure it'll be done. It'll be ready. Actually, I'm certain. It'll be out.
Oh no, I have confidence in you this time. This time you've got it. You got it.
Yeah.
What's the title of the book so that people can keep an eye out on for it?
It's called The Resolution. Yeah, and it's sort of dark sort of satire. It's mainly satire, but it's also got like, I really like to focus on why people do what they do. Just go a little bit deeper than like the average sort of crime book. And that's sort of probably why it's taken so long. I've had to like go over like psychology and all this stuff and really nail down on like the nitty gritty of the story. But yeah, once I've released it, like you said, I think the first book is always the hardest to write. Next book will probably be out a lot quicker. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
It has been an absolute pleasure to talk to you today. Now, can you tell people where they can find out more information about you, like, social media or your website?
Okay. The best thing to do is probably just type up my name. Lachlan Pirie, Lachlan, Pirie, Pirie. You'll probably find it like a list of things come down. I'll have my Twitter. On Twitter, if you just look up that name, or on Facebook or on YouTube, it'll just come up with my face somewhere. I have a YouTube channel that's where I interview authors called Author on Author Interviews. I do that on the side. And yeah, that's about it. My website is www.lachlanpirie.com, I think. But if you look up, like I said, if you look up a name, that'll probably like be the first thing to pop up. But yeah, that's it.
So, we almost made it through this entire interview without me being a narcissist. And honestly, I'm in pain, so I'm not nearly as cute as I need to be a narcissist. But here I am anyway. Well, no narcissist question. Can I be on Authors on Authors?
Oh, yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead. I'd love to have you on my show.
That would be
any type of author, and just focus on like the development of writers, how they've gotten to where they are now. And yeah, I like to focus on, how life has really impacted on their writing, basically.
Ooh. Okay, maybe I need to take that question back. It sounds serious.
Oh, it's not serious at all. Watch one of my interviews. Yeah, I try to keep it up, just casual as. But yeah, just like I like to focus on, how writers have gotten to where they are now, what they're writing at the moment, and yeah, just keep it cool, calm, talk about it.
Sounds fun. Actually, now this is the first time I'm going to be like, yes, I accept.
True.
I never do that. Yes, I accept. Anyway, you can find out everything that your ladies are up to at www.andithoughtLadies.com. And while you're there, go down to the middle of the page and see the charities that we proudly Try it again. This is really annoying. You can go down to the middle of the page and see the 3 charities that we proudly support. We ask that you definitely spend time and get to know them, support them as well. Times have been a little difficult during COVID, and we thank you in advance for doing that. Oh my goodness. Jade, how do I end this podcast?
In the podcast. You say wisdom is all around you.
If you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Winona and Jade.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.